All right, ready to dive in. We're about to explore the world of Venezuelan cuisine. And this website I found has me seriously craving some arepas.
I've always been curious about Venezuelan food. What makes it so unique?
Well, the website says there's so much more to it than just arepas. And believe me, I love a good arepa. But looking through all these vibrant photos, it's like this explosion of colors and flavors that I never even imagined.
I see what you mean. Venezuelan cuisine is fascinating, a real mix of influences shaped by its history and the land itself. It's like this blend of indigenous traditions with Spanish and even African flavors, making it super diverse.
Totally. And the website really emphasizes those key ingredients. Obviously, you've got corn flour, the heart and soul of those iconic arepas, right? But get this, they're saying you can even find variations made with yuca flour or plantains for a sweeter twist.
That's what I love about cooking, with such simple ingredients, endless possibilities.
And speaking of variety, it's not just about the corn. You've got plantains, black beans, tons of cheese, and of course, let's not forget all the different ways they prepare meat. Beef, chicken, even seafood, depending on where you are in the country.
So we've established Venezuelan food is all about that mix of vibrant ingredients, but I'm really curious about how they all come together to create the unique regional flavors they're famous for. Speaking of regions, this website goes deep on the different areas of Venezuela and how each one has this whole unique food personality. It's like culinary tourism, but for your ears.
I like where you're going with this. And just
Huh?
like exploring a new place, there's so much to discover along the way.
All right, first up, the Central Region. What kind of culinary adventures are we in for there? The Central Region is really the heart of Venezuela, and their food reflects all those influences we've been talking about. Imagine indigenous ingredients mixed with Spanish and African flavors. It creates something unique, familiar, and exciting all at the same time.
The website mentioned a dish called Pabellón Criollo. What is that one all about?
Pabellón Criollo. Ah, a classic. It's actually considered their national dish, and for good reason. It's like the history of Venezuela all on one plate. You've got tender, shredded beef, a nod to their Spanish influence, and that's served with fluffy rice and black beans, which are staples from the indigenous and African culinary traditions.
Wow, it's amazing how much history can be packed into one dish. All right, I'm ready to hit the road again. Where are we headed next on our Venezuelan food tour?
Next up, the Llanos. Picture vast plains, cowboys, and the smell of meat cooking over an open fire.
Okay, you had me at meat cooking over an open fire. The website mentions something about asado llanero. What exactly is that?
But you're ready for this. Asado llanero is all about taking huge cuts of beef, simply seasoned with salt, and slow cooking them over embers until they're fall apart tender. It's smoky, juicy, and absolutely melts in your mouth.
Okay, now I'm really getting hungry. This deep dive is really working at my appetite. All right, last stop on our Venezuelan culinary road trip. The coast. What kind of seafood are we talking about here?
The Venezuelan coast is truly a seafood lover's paradise. Think fresh fish, shrimp, crab, all cooked with those bright, vibrant flavors of the Caribbean.
I saw some photos of a dish called pescado frito con patacones. What are patacones?
Patacones are twice fried plantains, crispy on the outside and soft and sweet on the inside. It really adds a nice textural contrast to the delicate flavor of the fried fish.
Wow, so we've gone from the fusion flavors of the central region to those hearty meat dishes of the Llanos, and now we're ending with the fresh seafood delights of the coast. It's incredible how diverse the cuisine is across the entire country. But you know me, I always save room for dessert. All right, so we were talking seafood, but honestly, this website has my sweet tooth acting up. Tell me more about these Venezuelan desserts.
Oh, you are in for a treat. Venezuelan desserts are incredible. Rich flavors, often featuring things like dulce de leche, coconut, and all those amazing tropical fruits.
I saw pictures of this cake, tres leche. What's the story behind that one? It looked amazing.
Ah, the tres leches cake. It's a true classic. Imagine a light and airy sponge cake, but completely soaked in three different kinds of milk. Evaporated milk, condensed milk, and heavy cream.
Wow, 3 different kinds of milk.
Exactly, and it creates this incredibly rich and moist texture, and the sweetness is just perfectly balanced.
That sounds like the perfect celebration cake.
Yeah.
And speaking of celebrations, I noticed the website mentioned how important food is in Venezuelan culture, especially during holidays and special occasions.
Absolutely. Celebrations in Venezuela are all about family, tradition, and of course, feasting. And you can't talk about Venezuelan celebrations without talking about hallacas.
Okay, hallacas, you have to tell me more about these.
Okay, so picture this. You unwrap this fragrant banana leaf, and inside is a savory, steamed cake. But it's not just any cake. It's filled with this rich stew of slow-cooked meat, Season with olives and capers for a bit of saltiness, and then just a hint of sweetness from raisins.
That sounds incredible.
It is, and it's a real labor of love. Families often spend days preparing them together.
Wow, so it's much more than just a dish. It's really a tradition that brings people together. I love that connection between food and community.
Exactly. And that's what makes exploring Venezuelan cuisine so special. It's not just about the flavors, it's about the history, the culture, the love that goes into every bite.
This deep dive has been such a fascinating journey. We explored all these diverse ingredients, dove into those unique regional flavors, and even got to virtually sample some delicious-sounding desserts. What's your biggest takeaway when it comes to Venezuelan food?
For me, it's a reminder that food tells a story. Venezuelan cuisine is a story of resilience, of adaptation, and celebrating life with open arms and an open table. It's a cuisine that's meant to be shared and truly savored.
You said it. This deep dive has definitely sparked something in me. I'm already planning my next food adventure. Thanks for exploring this with me.
The pleasure was all mine. Thanks for having me.